When I started this channel, I promised that I'll be honest and I won't hide anything that's been happening about business. And I'm not planning on breaking that promise. So I'm gonna let you in on what's been going on in my life in the past week, because I haven't been feeling too good about this business. I've hit some problems and I'm not really sure how to solve them, but this is the purpose of the YouTube channel, to share the problems and afterwards the solutions I find. All of these things started last week when I started trying to automate with Claude the process of sending DMs on Instagram. I talked about it in my most recent video, and I thought I made it work, but then I actually tested it and it didn't work how I expected at all. It wrote horrible DMs in a horrible language that didn't sound human at all, and I had to redo it all over again, and I got to some other problems that the website pages were completely broken when Claude tried to search for them for different businesses, and it was basically just a failed try, and I had no hopes left. I started writing the DMs myself so I can give Claude in the future some examples of what they should look like. And I wrote like 5 or 10 DMs and I sent them. I analyzed their profiles to make personalized comments and just start a conversation, because that was the main purpose of the messages. And I expected at least to get like 5 answers of even saying that they are not interested. It would still be a good result for me, but after a few days I've got, I think, only one answer from a photographer saying that he doesn't need my services because he was building his website with something else or whatever. I didn't understand it perfectly, and that was when I started losing hope a little bit, because I didn't get exactly what I planned. I was pretty disappointed to only get one answer from 10 DMs. After that, I tried rebuilding the Claude skill to do this process, but instead of letting him run on his own, I gave him all the messages that I wrote and learned based on those, and solved somehow the problems with fetching the websites and analyzing their content from Instagram to write the personalized DMs. And somehow I made it work decently. Made it work I made it put the written DMs in an Excel, and I won't be using Claude to actually send the DMs because it will take up too much usage and I want to spend it on something else. I can manually send the DMs myself, because anyway probably Instagram would have blocked all that process, because Instagram would have blocked everything probably after a couple DMs because they were going too fast. So I'm just gonna send the DMs myself and we are not gonna be having any problems with that. And using that Claude skill for the process, I sent another 10 DMs that turned out pretty good. I had to go over them another time just to check them and maybe change a couple things, minor details, but the skill itself worked almost perfectly, and I sent those 10 DMs and I had higher hopes because they were written a little bit better than the previous ones. and I had high hopes for the next batch of DMs, and 2 days have gone by and no one answered, and I lost like pretty much all my hope, because from those 20 DMs that I sent, I only got one answer, I think, or two. That was the first time when the negative thoughts started coming in. It was the first time, or one of the first times, when I doubted myself regarding business. At least in the past 6 months, I never had a negative thought about anything, because I just had confidence that it's gonna work. And that was happening because maybe I've got my first client too fast, or everything was going exactly to plan, and that's why I maybe didn't expect this to happen. And I did that process for another 20 DMs. I'm now at 30 DMs in total that I've sent. But in between these things, because there were, I think, 1 or 2 days between the first 10 DMs that I manually wrote and sent and the next batch of 20 DMs. There was a space between where I felt like so disappointed and hopeless, and that basically never happened to me before. It was worse than I've ever felt regarding the business. I've simply lost hope I've simply lost hope at that moment. I thought that maybe all I was doing was wrong, and what if it didn't work out? What if I'm on the wrong path? And all of these things came to my mind, and I was just feeling sad. It's hard to put it into words, and I was basically scared for what was happening, because from the first 10 DMs I only got one answer or two maximum, and it's pretty different from what I expected. In the beginning, I thought I was gonna get 10 answers, all of them expected to say that they are not interested, but at least I would got an answer and knew that I was doing something right in the cold outreaching process, but that didn't happen, so that's why I felt like this. And after those 10 DMs, and before I sent the next 20, I just thought that I should change something, and I did change a little bit how I framed the message. Instead of just proposing an offer from the beginning, the main goal was to start a conversation, so I didn't mention a price, not even if it's free. I just said if they are open to talk about this, and that was it. That was the thing I've done differently. And also, I followed them on Instagram. I liked a couple photos, and in that way Instagram knows that I'm not a robot. So I was prepared physically for sending the next batch of DMs, but mentally I was still feeling down, and that was until I listened again to an Alex Hormozy podcast that honestly was really helpful. I mean, it wasn't really a podcast, it was a transcript from his book, The $100 Million Offers, and it's basically an audiobook read by him. Whatever, I was listening to that, and it reminded me that I have to try a lot more and a lot harder than I did before. I have to send 100 DMs per day, 1,000 DMs per week, or whatever, in order to find out what works and what doesn't, and I've only sent 10 DMs, and I expected some results, and it's not fair, and it's not how it's supposed to go. So listening him talking about what was going on in his life a couple years ago before he was this successful, and it motivated me again. It got me back feeling like before, and I was ready for the next series of DMs. I ran the cloud skill that handles the writing of the DMs, and I got back 20 DMs written in a pretty professional and kind way at the same time. But they weren't perfect. I had to check them again. I went through every one of those to check it for spelling mistakes, because they were wrote in Romanian. Obviously, when Claude translated from English, some exclamations may sound awkward, and I had to check them and change. And I know it's not exactly how I expected to work. It's still a lot faster than if I would wrote the DMs myself and manually checked their profiles to find the content and think about the compliments and all of those things. It would still be a lot slower than what I did with Claude, so it's still a positive result. Yesterday I sent all of those checked DMs, 20 of them, and afterwards I started sending the follow-ups for the accounts I've already messaged before, to see if they even received the message, because when I checked what happened with those DMs, what went wrong, I saw that I didn't even see a red sign like you usually get when someone reads your message. I thought I should see that at least, and if they don't want to answer to me, fine, but at least I know that they got it, and I need to work on the actual message to get them to answer. So I just sent a follow-up to check if they received the message after I followed also those accounts and liked a few posts. And yeah, I think on one of those accounts I received yesterday night a message saying that they weren't interested. Also today I've heard back from 3 accounts, 3 businesses. They answered and they said that they are not interested right now in changing or creating a website. So no success so far, but like I heard from Alex Hormozy, I have to keep going and do 1,000 of these DMs until I can say if it works or not. So that's what I'm planning on doing, and I'm not gonna feel demotivated again or feel sad, because I don't know, I just realized how much I have to do more than this in order to actually get some results. So even though I didn't get any positive answers from any of the businesses, I'm happy that at least they saw the message and they responded, which is still better than the first time, because 4 answers from 30 businesses, it's decent. I don't know what the percentages are, but I'm happy with it. Also on my page of Instagram for the agency account, a salon liked one of my posts, so I'm thinking of DMing them also, because what reason would they have to like a web design agency post if they are not interested in their services? I don't know yet. I'm gonna think about it, and I'm gonna DM them probably, and hopefully they are the next client, because there are higher chances of wanting my services if they interacted first with my page. So really high hopes for that. So for now, all that is left to do is to look at all the successful DMs that I got an answer from, and also at the DMs that didn't work, and put them again into that Excel table or different one for Flo to check all of them and see what was the same for the ones that worked, if there was a thing that was alike, and if not, just put it right a couple more, find a couple more accounts, and just keep going with this process until we succeed. And that's basically it. So the only conclusion that I can take from this is that I haven't sent enough DMs in order to know if what I'm doing is wrong. At least I have to write 100 DMs in total to know if something's wrong, and only afterwards I can say anything about the actual process and the structure of the DMs. And what I remembered now from when I was listening to that audio book from Alex Hormozy was that he was saying you should just show them that you are gonna offer them a tons of value, so you can make it unreasonable for them to accept. And I was thinking about it, how can I apply it to my DMs? How can you offer them that much value that they feel stupid saying no, if I'm not supposed to write long DMs or propose them anything, if I'm just supposed to start a conversation? How should I let the prospect know what I'm going to offer? Like, I don't know how to implement it. I'll have to figure this out as well, because I don't know what it means in this case. David Fogarty said in one of his videos a couple months ago, he was recommending that you contact your possible clients on Twitter, now X, and instead of sending the usual DMs, you send them vocal messages. I was thinking of applying this to what I'm doing. I can't be sending the messages on X like he was suggesting, because my clients wouldn't be spending their time on X or having any accounts there. But I can transfer that on Instagram, and I can send vocal messages with what I was saying in the DM, and instead being a voice message, and maybe that way I can catch their attention better. And to end everything, I just want to say this: I'm really glad and proud that I got over that bad time. From a couple days ago, I managed to get back on track, on feeling motivated, on wanting to keep going, even if it was a short time when I felt down. I solved the problem, and now I'm back with the same clear mentality as before. I'm not killer because it's too dramatic, but you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go to the gym now, and afterwards home and get back to writing and checking DMs and sending them, finding more businesses to send them to, and that's it. That's what I'm focusing on right now, because I know I can do a decent job with Claude on building the actual website, so I just need people to build it for, and that's it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed or learned something useful from this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. If you have something to say, Leave it in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.